Good day, everyone. So, this is how we summarize Republic Act 9003, or the Ecological Solid Waste Management Act of 2000. So, what is Republic Act 9003? It is an act providing for an ecological solid waste management program, creating the necessary institutional mechanisms and incentives, declaring certain acts prohibited, and providing penalties, appropriating funds therefore and for other purposes. This Republic Act declares the policy of the state in adopting a systematic, comprehensive, and ecological solid waste management program. It ensures the protection of public health and the environment and other segregation, collection, transport, storage, treatment, and disposal of solid waste.
So for the Declaration of Policies, Section 2, the Republic Act 9003 requires all, particularly local government bodies, to implement a systematic, comprehensive, and environmentally sound solid waste management program that ensure protection of public health and environment, utilize environmentally sound methods, set guidelines and targets for solid waste avoidance and volume reduction, ensure the proper segregation, collection, transport, storage, treatment, and disposal of solid waste, promote national research and development programs for improved solid waste management and resource conservation techniques, encourage greater private sector participation in solid waste management, retain primary enforcement and responsibility of solid waste management with local government units, encourage cooperation and self-regulation among waste generators, institutionalize public participation, strengthen the integration of ecological solid waste management and resource conservation and recovery topics into the academic curricula of formal and non-formal education, institutionalize public participation.
So we have here the institutional mechanism of Section 4, the National Solid Waste Management Commission. The commission shall be composed of 14 members from the government sector and 3 members from the private sector. So, government sector. The government sector consists of the following resident institutional units and all units of central, state, or local government, all social security funds at each level of government, all non-market, non-profit institutions that are controlled and financed by government units. Its 14 members are the DENR, DILG, DOST, DPWH, DOH, DTI, DA, PIA, MMDA, League of Provinces, League of Cities, League of Municipalities, Liga ng mga Barangay, and TESDA. So we also have here the private sector. So private sector is the part of the economy, sometimes referred to as the citizen sector, which is owned by private groups, usually as a means of establishment for profit or non-profit, rather than being owned by the government. So its members consist of 3, and these are the representative from the NGO sector, representative from the recycling industry, representative from the manufacturing or packaging industry. Collaboration between public and private entities, which are the government sector and private sector, creates better and more effective public and private services and products. It completes work on time and within budget.
So thank you for that. Next, we have the comprehensive solid waste management, which are the segregation of waste under Section 21 to 22, the collection of transport and solid waste under Section 23 to 25, and the recycling program under Section 26 to 33, which are the eco-labeling, reclamation programs and buyback centers, the 9 environmentally acceptable products, recycling market development, establishments of LG materials recovery facility, and we have composting under section 34 to 35, the waste management facilities under section 36 to 42, which is prohibition against the use of open dumps for solid waste, siting establishments, and operating a sanitary landfill. And lastly, we have the local government solid waste management under section 43 to 44. So, it refers to the systematic management of operation that provide for waste segregation at the source, segregated transportation, the storage, transfer, processing, treatment and disposal of solid waste, as well as all other waste management activities that are environmentally friendly. So we have the comprehensive solid waste management. As per all of the section here, it's quite understandable to each one of us. We should be more focused on to be more environmentally friendly.
And now for the incentives. Incentives are rewards, monetary or otherwise, that shall be provided to individuals, private organizations and entities, including non-government organizations that have undertaken outstanding and innovative projects, technologies, processes and techniques or activities in reuse, recycling, and reduction. So the said rewards shall be sourced from the fund herein created. Also, according to this Act, an incentive scheme is hereby provided for the purpose of encouraging LGUs, enterprises, or private entities, including NGOs, to develop or undertake an effective solid waste management or actively participate in any program geared towards the promotion thereof as provided for in this Act.
The penal provision of Republic Act 9003 would be as follows. Littering, throwing, dumping of waste in public areas, that would be fine of 300 to 1,000 pesos, or community service between 1 to 15 days or both. Open burning of solid waste in undertaking activities or operating, collecting, or transporting equipment in violation of sanitation operation, that would be fine of 300 to 1,000 pesos, or imprisonment between 1 to 15 days or both. Causing or permitting the collection of non-segregated or unsorted waste, squatting in open dumps and landfill, open dumping, burying of biodegradable or non-biodegradable materials in flood-prone areas, and unauthorized removal of recyclable material intended for collection by authorized person, that would be fine of 1,000 to 300,000 pesos, or imprisonment of 15 days to 6 months or both.
Next, for the establishment or operation of open dumps and the manufacture, distribution, or use of non-environmentally acceptable packaging materials, the first violation would be 500,000 pesos plus an amount between 5 to 10% of its net annual income of the previous year. The second violation would be imprisonment between 1 to 3 years. Importation of toxic waste, misrepresented as recyclable or with recyclable content, would range up to 10,000 to 200,000 pesos, or imprisonment of 30 days to 3 years or both. Lastly, the construction of any establishment within 200 meters from open dumps or controlled dumps or sanitary landfills would range up to 100,000 to 1 million pesos, or imprisonment of 1 to 6 years or both.
Put it simply, Republic Act No. 9003, otherwise known as Ecological Solid Waste Management Act of year 2000, sets the standards when it comes to the classification, isolation, and overall management of waste in the environment. The Act was signed and put into mobilization in hopes of keeping our solid waste in check by setting the standards on how waste is segregated and the ideal ways of containing said waste away from the environment, as to reduce their adverse effects to the environment and its inhabitants.